Keeping a promise is like carrying around fine china between your thighs, because it's something that you just cannot break, and if you do break it, you're gonna get more bad karma than dream faking his Minecraft speedruns. But today, Mr. Fantastic keeps a promise after an old man wanted to Yahtzee himself off of a building. But does he keep that promise? Well, we're gonna find out in the Marvel Knights comic series. So one day, Mr. Fantastic was still walking across town in order to get to Baxter Building to do some research. But as he was walking there, something more shocking occurs than finding out GTA 7 will come out before GTA 6. And that's that a man was on a ledge of a building and is on the verge of yeeting himself off like it's Minecraft and entering the gulag. So on impulse, Reed decided to drop everything and Daddy Longlegs all the way to the man who's trying to end his life. And when he eventually found him, he decided to join his Mario Party, introduce himself, and ask if they could have a little chat. But here's the thing, Reed is no psychologist, he's just here and hopes that some miracle and wisdom can leak from his vocal cords. But it turns out he didn't need to do much, because this wrinkled raisin did all the leaking for him. And unfortunately, Martin here has been feeling very depressed. And this started when his 16-year-old son was driving home from a party with his buddies, but his car slipped on some ice, which resulted in him kamikazing all his friends to a wall and killed everyone in the car, including Martin's son. Personally, I think the son is stupid. He should have gotten some winter tires on that bitch, but whatever. Martin goes on to say that his son's death led to a toll on his marriage with his wife, which inevitably led to a divorce and her moving to California. But to add more fuel to the ramen noodles, he started coughing up blood and realized he had advanced stage throat cancer, which is also fatal. So Reed assumed that Martin was just afraid of dying, which is why he wanted to jump. But that actually wasn't the reason why he wanted to jump at all. Apparently, when he found out he had cancer, his first instinct wasn't to cry, but to call someone to tell them what was happening. But it was at this moment he realized that he literally had no one to call who would actually care about what's going on in his life. And that is ultimately the thing that makes him want to turn into a strawberry shortcake. It's the idea of dying alone. And Reed could not let that happen. So he decided to give Martin a piece of paper that had his number on it. And when Martin is on the verge of dying, he could hit up Reed in order for him to be there when he dies to ensure that he doesn't die alone. Even if he's in a fight with Dr. Doom or taking a dump, Reed will drop everything to meet Martin. And that was enough to take him off of the ledge. Now fast forward a few issues, Reed is having a meeting with the Illuminati until he suddenly gets a phone call from Martin and bolts all the way to the hospital and gets the chance to be with Martin during his dying moments. And sadly, the cancer caused him to not speak anymore. So Reed gave him an earpiece that allowed him to read his mind. And he basically just thanked him for coming, and Reed told him that basically, of course I would come. I always keep my promises. But after a few hours of chilling, Martin was running out of HP, and he had no more steak in his inventory to fuel up. So he requested Reed one more thing, and that thing was to call his ex-wife and apologize on his behalf for smoking and tell her that she was right. But before he was about to rest, I don't know how, but Reed, I guess, saw into heaven, because when he was reading Martin's mind, he saw a rewind of his entire life. And to cap it all off, he saw his son healthy and happy in the afterlife, which was a clear indication that now he's dead. But thankfully, Reed kept his promise. Now watch another video, you babies, and see ya.